Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be looking at where Gordon Hayward should sign this offseason. So his decision will be coming up today, and it is between three teams: the Miami Heat, the Boston Celtics, and of course the Utah Jazz, which was his current team and where all the highlights will be that I will be showing. So let me just give you a quick channel update before I start this video. So I have not been posting, and I don't think I'm going to be posting a lot more 2K content until 2K18, because 2K17 is dead. So I'm going to be posting probably some rebuilds, probably some sniping filters, and maybe like a Utah Jazz team if they sign him, or whoever signs Gordon Hayward, and just some squad builders maybe, just for the future. And I'm also going to be doing, player rating predictions, and just a whole recap of this offseason and grades and everything. So it's going to be fun. I suggest if you like NBA content to subscribe. And now let's get into the video. Alright, so now that we're done with that, let's get into the video. So Gordon Hayward is 27 years old, and he is entering his prime. There are many different teams that we're targeting this offseason, but he has narrowed it down to three. As I said before, the Utah Jazz, the Miami Heat, and the Boston Celtics. There are pros and cons for all the teams that he will be going for, or going to, or signing with. So I'm going to be going over those pros and cons in this video. So the first team we're going to go over is the Miami Heat. So his first option is the Miami Heat, and let's get into the pros and cons. One pro is the South Beach. It is in the South Beach. It is very nice there, nice and beautiful, nice and hot. And who wouldn't want to play in Miami, Florida, where it's nice and hot, unlike Utah where it is, or Boston where it gets really cold in the winter. And Miami has one of the largest markets in America, so I don't know why you wouldn't want to, get there, get exposure from the media, and probably make more money from Nike deals or other stuff. Another big thing is that he will be the number one scoring option. Just like kinda in Utah, he will be the one that always has the ball in his hands, the one that will be driving to the basket, and the one that will be getting the most points and will be padding the stats the most. Well, another pro is that he's in the East, so it's almost a guarantee that whatever team he goes to in the East will make the playoffs. Maybe even the Nets, but that's not an option because the Celtics will and the Heat will, because he's in the East. One con is not winning, not really contending for a championship. They're just going to be in the middle of the pack. So that's really where you don't want to be in the NBA. Where you don't want to really be in the middle of the pack. You want to be either really bad or really good, because then you won't have a future. You'll just be losing first or second round. Another con that the Heat have is there's no really future, so they can't really build around anyone because they don't have anyone to really trade. So that's one of the problems with the Heat, and those are only two cons. But you might be saying, oh, only two cons, it must be pretty good. But winning's a huge thing in the NBA, and I think that's under exaggerated a lot. As you saw, KD took a huge pay cut, but people are talking about it, but he took that pay cut for winning with the Warriors. So winning's a huge thing, and if you're not winning, then you're not really doing anything. Look at Carmelo Anthony. He's not winning, and he really isn't seen as an all-time great, but a few extra rings, who knows? So the next possible team is the Boston Celtics. So the main pro about the Boston Celtics is winning. You're going to be on a winning team that will contend for a championship. With Isaiah Thomas, with Al Horford, with the whole Boston Celtics team, you're going to contend for a championship. This team is just too good to not contend for a championship, and you'll probably make the finals. Depends on where LeBron goes, but hey, you'll probably make the finals. Another pro is you are in the East, so you're guaranteed to probably make the Eastern Conference Finals. Guaranteed. I don't think anyone else would really be able to stop this Celtics team because it's too powerful. Another pro is the Celtics have many assets built up. They have Marcus Smart. They have Jason Tatum. They have Jaylen Brown. You can keep on naming all of them. but they have so many young assets that they could trade and get star players out of. But now we're starting with the cons. Danny Ainge, he has been unable to make any good trade for the Celtics and get any star players on that team. Isaiah Thomas wasn't a star when he came to the Celtics. I think one of his only deals was signing Al Horford. He's never traded for a star player. He had the chance this offseason to get Paul George, Jimmy Butler. He's had a multiple chance to get Jimmy Butler, but they both went to different places. Like the Thunder, Paul George went to the Thunder, and Jimmy Butler went to the Timberwolves. So he lost out on all those opportunities. Another con is not being the number one scoring option. I don't know how much this matters to Gordon Hayward. It's never affected him much because he's been on the Jazz his whole career. But he would not be the number one scoring option. I don't think it would affect him as much as it would some other players, but it still might affect him a little bit because, you're an NBA player. You do still want stardom from being the number one scoring option. So, I don't know. That may or may not affect him. Time will only tell. And just the thing that the Heat and the Celtics have, they can't offer Gordon Hayward as big of a contract because he was not on their team. So that not as much money. I don't know if that would affect Gordon Hayward. It's very up in the air. But let's go on to the Utah Jazz. The final and most likely spot Gordon Hayward will go to, or maybe not the most likely. I think the Celtics is, but the Utah Jazz. So, this is one of the most probably likely and one of the most predictable. But I don't know. I think he's going to the Celtics, but that's besides the point. So, some pros about the Jazz. He would get a huge contract. As you can, the team you stay with, you get a bigger contract with. I think with the Celtics and Heat, he could get a 4-year deal, and with the Jazz, he could get a 5-year deal. I don't know how much that affects him or how much he cares about that, but that's one thing Gordon Hayward might care about. Another thing is he's a home team. This is where he's been playing. I think that's kind of a big deal in the NBA. He's been playing here. He knows some of the fans. He knows the coaching staff. He knows the players. Another thing is team chemistry. He already has. The Jazz hasn't made any moves really, so he's got chemistry with Gobert. He's got chemistry with really everyone on the team and the coaching staff, which could make a big difference. But I think it's not that big of a difference because really chemistry comes in about 2 or 3 years. So in the Celtics and Heat, he'll probably only have 1 off year with the chemistry, and then he'll learn the guys during the offseason and stuff. So not that big of a deal on that one. Another pro is he's the number 1 scoring option again. There's not really anyone else that's a scorer on the Jazz unless they sign someone. So yeah, he'll be the number 1 scoring option unless Gobert becomes an offensive superstar, which I doubt, but I don't know. I think he being a number 1 scoring option, in my opinion, would be a huge deal in the NBA. Some cons are not winning. That might be what drives him out of Utah. Winning's got to be a huge thing on his mind if he's thinking about going to the Celtics. I don't know. That could have killed him. Another con is that he's in the West, which is a very tough division. He'll probably make the playoffs. Conference division. He'll probably make the playoffs because the Jazz did make the playoffs. I think they were the 4th seed, but he should make the playoffs, but it will be tough. Another thing with the Heat and the Jazz is they'll be in the middle of the pack. They'll be in the middle of the pack of the NBA, the no man's land of the NBA, where you're not winning and you're not getting draft picks. You're not getting good draft picks, so you don't really have a future. So you're just kind of in the middle of it. That's where nobody wants to be, and that might be what drives Gordon Hayward out of Utah. So, in conclusion, Gordon Hayward should sign with the Celtics. I think winning's a huge thing in the NBA. They have many assets, so they'll probably get a big name. It depends on what Danny Ainge does. So we'll see, but I think the Celtics. So it should be announced anytime now, today. So just keep your eyes out. But thank you guys for watching, and see you soon.